Hi, so this is a very interesting paper that I want us to talk about. And if you are an information systems scholar, you need to know that you exist to create solutions to the problem that we find today in the business environment. So you need to love the idea of business. So being an information systems academic doesn't mean you are just there to create research and just crunch numbers. You need to fall in love with solving problems that current business landscape experience. So that's what it means. And you also need to understand some of the foundational papers that laid the foundation of the field. And if you understand these papers, you understand that whatever we are seeing today has been predicted by scholars in the past. So most of these frameworks and theories are predictive. And when you read them, you can now think about what is happening today and see how these frameworks can be applied in the present technological landscape. Now, AI is everywhere, and most of these frameworks still hold water. Now, without further ado, let's start. Now, from crisis to control, a strategic map for managing corporate computing from Richard Nolan. This presentation is about a very simple but powerful idea. The chaos businesses or organizations experience with technology is not random at all. So this framework shows that most technology crises are actually predictable stages of growth. So when there is any form of crisis, it is not failure, but can actually be a predictable stage of growth. So the goal of this video is to teach tools or softwares. Sorry, the goal of this video is not to teach you tools or softwares. It is to give you a map so that when things feel out of place, when things feel out of control in the business environment, you can understand where you are and what kind of action that actually makes sense to solve that problem. So now let me give you a very clear dilemma. This is something we see mostly at the executive stage in every business, the tension at the top. Now, on one side, the business leader is saying, I want system that supports the business and I'm willing to pay anything for them. I want systems that support the business. On the other side, the IT leader is saying, we're losing control. Budgets are exploding. Technology is getting complex. So the key message here is at the bottom, which says, rising costs and user frustration are not signs of failure. They are symptoms of predictable growth. So when you experience this, they are not signs of failure, but signs of predictable growth. Then going to number three, this is the meat of this paper, the 6 stages of data processing growth. So at every stage, a business should know where they belong to and know how to solve the problem of that stage. So this curve is the backbone of the entire framework. Data processing spending doesn't grow randomly. It follows an S-shaped curve through 6 stages: initiation, contagion, control, integration, data administration, and maturity. The most important point is the transition point in the middle, the transition point, which is here. That's where organizations must fundamentally change how they manage technology, or the chaos will continue. So you need to take note of these 6 stages. Now, let's talk about the the four measures of maturity. An organization an organization stage isn't defined by one thing. It is defined by four interconnected dimensions. That's the growth process. It's defined by four interconnected dimensions. The first is the application portfolio. What kind of systems exist? The second is data processing organization. How IT is structured. The third is planning and control. How formal governance is the formal governance in the business environment. Fourth is user awareness and accountability. An organization moved from stage to one, two, three, four, five, one. Stage one to stage six, and all four all four growth processes: application, portfolio, uh, data processing organization, and data planning and control, user awareness should all mature together. If one lags behind, problem appears. So all these four stages of growth should all mature together. You can see the application layer, the start from stage one: functional cost reduction, glorification, upgrade and restructure. Uh, then the second growth stage: text specialization, user-oriented programming, middle management, and all. Now let's go to 5. Now in the paper, the great shift from managing computers to managing data. So this slide explains the most important transition in the entire model. In early stages, organizations manage computers. That's hardware, capacity, and cost. This is the stage of managing computers. After the transition point, they must manage data. This data. And data are, we can call it shared resources, accountability, and strategic value. This is not a technical shift. It is a shift in governance, responsibility, and mindset from managing computer to managing data resources. So the innovator's dilemma: control versus slack. Now, this is a very interesting slide. Growth requires the right balance, freedom, and control. Now, early stages needs more slack. That is room for experiment. When in the early stages you need more slack, room for experiment. In the middle stage you need more control to contain the chaos. In the later stage you need both. So the key takeaway is at the bottom. Too much control too early or too much slack too late causes budget explosion and inefficiencies. The assessment: where are you in the map? Before acting, organizations must diagnose their stage. This framework proposes two levels of assessment. The first, a quick high level read using spending and technology mix. And second, a more deeper qualitative analysis of applications, organizations, planning, and user accountability. If you have strategy without proper diagnosis, it is guesswork. So you have to assess where you are on the map before acting. So you have to diagnose your stage. Let's go to slide 8. Now, this slide shows how spending. This slide, which is first level benchmark, the view from 300 feet. This slide shows how spending growth relates to company growth. So spending growth relates to company's growth. Yeah. So the data, if data processing spending grows faster than sales, it is a warning sign. Let me say it again. If data processing grows faster than company sales, it is a warning sign. On the right hand side, the technology mix shows how organizations move from batch system to database and distributed computing as they mature. You can see all that. And this benchmark help identify misalignment very early. So talking about the second level benchmark, a deeper analysis. So here we look into the organization, and early stage focuses on automation and centralized control, and mid stage treats data processing as data custodian, right? And later stage manages data as an enterprise resources. So notice how user accountability increases, and also notice that maturity is as much social as it is technical. So you can see all that in this table. So slide 10. One company, many stages, and corporate-wide profile. So what this slide is trying to tell you, a key insight: large companies are rarely in one stage. Large organizations are rarely in one stage. Different divisions evolve at different speed, and this means your strategy and your governance must be tailored, not uniform. And treating all units the same creates friction and inefficiency because, again, large companies are rarely on one stage and different divisions evolve differently. So, the engineering, distribution, the administration, and marketing, all of these stages are rarely occurring the same time. So they have to be treated differently. Strategic alignment and tailored resource allocation are critical for managing multi-stage enterprises. So going to slide 11. So the path forward, the five guidelines for strategic action. So once the stage is clear, action becomes possible. The five guidelines emphasize shifting focus on data, leveraging enabling technology, diagnosing each unit stage, planning deliberately, and empowering senior leaders. So growth must be managed, not resisted. That is what this slide is all about. Slide 12. Guidelines 1 and 2. Reorient your strategy around your data. The first step is to embed data first mindset in planning, governance, and technology choices. So this slide explains how to operationalize the shift to data. Systems should be designed to share data from the start. Planning should be data oriented, not computer oriented. Systems should be designed to share data from the start. Planning should be data oriented, not computer oriented. Enabling technologies like database and network make this economically possible. So technology enables the shift, but management must choose it wisely. 13. Guidelines 3 and 4. Measure, strategize, and plan. Now you can manage what you cannot manage what you don't measure. So organizations must diagnose their stage, choose strategy aligned with the business, and plan across multiple growth processes. So this actually replaces the reactive decision making with deliberate evolution. So you can see it here, a basic management tenant. If you can measure it, you can manage it. So apply the stage theory to build a robust forward-looking plan. From diagnosis, determining where each business unit stands in the data processing evolution, to choosing the data processing strategy that aligns with the overall business strategy, to outlining a 3 to 5 years plan growth for each key uh, growth processes. So you cannot manage what you cannot measure. So then the next slide is that slide 14. Guideline 5, empower steering committee. At advanced stage, governance is critical. Senior leadership must set direction, revise priorities, ensure understanding, and monitor progress. Without executive ownership, maturity stalls. Guideline 15, from cost center to competitive advantage. The final message is optimistic. Technology crises are not failure, they are not passages. But understanding the 6 stages, organizations can transform data processing from reactive cost center into central nervous system of the enterprise. Growth becomes strategic, not chaotic. So, closing, the real danger isn't the growth, the it is growing without a map. To put it together, the big idea of this paper is, at its core, Nolan explains how organizational problems with information technology are not actually accidents or failure, but a predictable stages of growth. So Nolan goes idea to argue that as an organization, as you adopt and expand your use of information technology, what he calls data processing, they move through a sequence of developmental stage, and each stage introduces new capacities and also new tensions and crises can actually come up with each of these stage. Now, these crises do not happen because managers are incompetent, but because the organization has not yet adjusted its managerial structure, governance, and behavior to match this level of technological growth. So, in other words, technology grows faster than organizations learn how to manage it. So, this is the problem. So, what Nolan is actually trying to say is that it's not he's not describing technology. He's explaining that organizational learning and adaptation in the face of powerful new tools. So we see it in this age of AI. Now, his central claim is that early on, organizations treat technology as a technical tool, and over time, technology becomes embedded in the workflow, decision making, and power structures. And eventually, the real change is no longer the technology itself, but how people process, govern, and the accountability adapted around it. Now, this is why technology crisis feels sudden, overwhelming, and organizations fail to recognize which stage they are in, and therefore applying the wrong management logic. So, why stages matter? Each stage in the Nolan's model is defined by a different balance between freedom and control. So, early stage requires more of experiments and flexibility. Middle stage requires discipline and cost control. Later stage requires coordination, data governance, and strategic planning. So now crisis occurs when management introduces too much control too early on, killing innovation, or allows too much freedom too late, thereby causing cost explosion and chaos. So thus, um, the same management action, e.g., street governance, can be helpful in one stage and disastrous in another stage. So this is one of the like one of Nolan's most important theoretical contributions is showing that the focus on management must shift over time. So early stage managing machines and application, middle stage managing costs and demands, later stage managing data as a shared organizational resources, and final stage aligning information flow with organizational structure and strategy. So moving on. So typically, what this is trying to teach business leaders is to recognize that chaos is often a sign of growth, not failure, and to diagnose their organization stages realistically and anticipate the next crisis instead of reacting to the current one. Also, adjusting governance, planning, and accountability gradually. So, treat data as a strategic resources, not as a technical byproduct. Now, let's take a look and think about what is happening now in the age of AI and why this paper matters in the era of AI. Now, AI adoption today looks exactly like the Nolan's early stages. Right now, we're seeing most organizations are in the stage two, the contagion. That's the contagion stage, and that is this. That is this stage. And this stage, employees experimenting with ChatGTP, Copilot, departments building their own AI tools, shadow AI everywhere, little coordination, cost is rising, executive are suddenly worried. It is not a failure; it is a predictable growth. Now, Nolan helps you name what is happening, which is actually very powerful. So again, let's say we're in the stage three. Um, this is where the AI governance panic. That's stage three. The behavior people wants to control. What are leaders doing? Writing AI policies, restricting usage, centralizing decisions, demanding return on investment justification, creating AI steering committees, and that is the stage three, the control. So control is necessary, but if applied too early or too rigidly kills the learning. So from contagion to control. So you have to know the stage you are. So you don't apply control during the contagion stage because if you apply it, it kills the innovation, right? So again, what you also need to understand, um, AI forces the same shifts Nolan predicted. That is systems to data, right? Which is very important. And organization must move through managing the technology to managing data because data is what makes the AI work. So AI makes the unavoidable. AI success depends. I said AI success is see if you, even if you decide to implement AI right now or in your business stack and without proper data, even if it's customer service AI, whatever AI you're implementing will not really work. So the AI needs data quality, data access, governance, accountability. If an organization cannot manage data well, AI will hallucinate. output cannot be trusted and scaling will fail. So the problem why AI fail in many organizational setup is because of lack of proper data. Now, the right balance depends on the stage you are. So now, not all parts of the organization are at the same AI stage. Some teams are experimenting freely. That is if we go down where we talked about different parts. Yeah, some teams are experimenting freely. Some are advanced and disciplined. Some have no AI awareness. So treating everyone the same frustrates the innovator, overwhelms the beginners, and encourages shadow AI. So again, modern AI maturity models are descendant of this paper. So kind of like every, what am I trying to say? Almost every modern AI maturity model, digital transformation framework, data maturity roadmap follows the Nolan's logic, stage growth, governance evolution, alignment over time. Like this is so interesting that I think I should, what I should do right now is read all these papers once more and kind of like write using the same framework, write create content for my blog businessleaders.ai, because I see that this framework still applies to today's environment. So this is so awesome. And but again, what the paper does not give us, and that is okay, it does not mention AI ethics explicitly, talk about regulation, discuss LLMs, but it gives us some valuable organizational logic, managerial sequencing, and diagnostic clarity, which I think we actually need in today's place. So if you remove the word data processing and replace it with AI, the paper still works. It still works. So I think this is actually a very wonderful one. And forgive that I have to go on and off, but I just wanted to be as natural as possible presenting this. Thank you.